Welcome back to Lowcountry Money Talk, and we've been talking about retirees and retirement, but what about the folks who are maybe a step back from there? Maybe 15 years is ahead from now is what their time frame is. What advice do you have for those folks?
Young folk. Yeah.
Kind of young.
Well, first of all, you need to make sure you're saving enough. Save first, spend later. So,
of course.
You know, if we're at a place they're offering a 401k or some matching, we definitely want to take advantage of that. Because, you know, if your employer is going to match your 401k and you're like, oh, I'm not interested, I'm like, that's free money, you should take it, right? So let's do the matching. When you're working, you're automatically, you know, you're getting paid twice a month or whatever. You have money withdrawn from your check that's going into your 401k, so whatever investments you choose. Okay, the problem and some of the things I'm concerned in this market is, let's say we've been working a long time and our 401k has just ballooned to a large amount. You know, I had a person come in and they're like, well, Phil, you know, I don't really try to, you know, time the market and this and that, and, you know, I just invest and, you know, it's up, it's down, it'll all work out. Well, I'm not as worried if you're working about the monthly payments, because those are dollar cost averaging in. So when the market's up, you're buying at a higher price. When it's lower, you're buying at a lower price. But if I have this big amount of money that I've already accumulated, that's where you're going to get your biggest slam from this market.
Yeah.
So the big accumulation amount is going to be down about 22% so far for the year. And what history tells us, you know, I'm just going by history here.
Sure.
You know, I like history. I had a great high school teacher, took college, all the history in college. You know, I really believe in history because it repeats itself. So we can learn a lot of things. The stock market history tells us when the Standard & Poor's 500 index, which is a benchmark of the overall stock market and how it's performing, even though they hit us with the Dow every day, that's only 30 companies, the Dow Jones Industrial. The S&P 500 is 500 of large capital companies in the US. So that gives us more of a, what history tells us, Lisa, on that is that in a bear market, that index is going to go down 35 to 40%. So let's go back.
Yeah.
I'm 15 years out.
Okay.
I'm dollar cost averaging, so I'm like, it'll work, but I have a huge lump sum that I've accumulated over the years that is down 22%, okay? Because I'm like, I'm young, I need to be more aggressive, you know, okay, so anyway, we used to call it the John Wayne. Okay, so anyway, that's all accumulated. Well, that just took a huge hit.
Yes.
If you're on the railroad track and you see a freight train coming, are you gonna stay there?
No.
Well, that's my problem. So I'm sitting here looking at this lump sum thinking, hey, you know, on average in a bear market, it's going to go down 35 to 40%. We're down half that now. I'm just going to eat it and take the next step down. No.
Okay.
So we need to look at that 401k, look at the options, be more protective with the lump sum. The monthly averages, maybe not as much because time may settle that out, but we want to make sure that we protect the big part of it.
Sure.
So that we're ready, because here's the other thing.
And how when you say protect it, what are your advice then? Where would you put
Well,
it?
it depends on what your choices are in your plan. So you're going to have some lower risk type plans, maybe even some money market. You know, we need to move that, the bigger portion, I would say, instead of exposing that to that next 40%, is I would pull that back, and maybe if you're like, well, gee, I'm not trying to guess the market, you can always pull that back and dollar cost average it back over the next 12 months, 24 months, whatever, so you don't take that big hit.
Just maybe move it into less risky.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, because who wants to, if history repeats itself, that's going to go down another 20%. Who wants that?
Yeah.
You know, and it's the big lump sum amount or the bigger part that's been saved that I'm more concerned about than the monthly, you know, contributions.
Yeah.
Because if I see that freight train coming, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna pull back and take a little breath here. I can always invest it back in, but if it's gone, how much are you gonna put back in?
Yeah.
Because it's down.
Yeah. You know, this can be a little bit frightening, a little bit scary for people. So, but we don't want them to do that. We don't want you to panic. Definitely be concerned, but be proactive, and that's where you can help, and that's where they can get called to get their complimentary portfolio analysis.
Yeah, and it's important because, you know, the one thing, I'm a military person. I did over 13 years in the military. The thing we want to do is we want to develop a plan and take control.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna feel a lot better. We'll relieve a lot of that stress.
Yeah. Well, so good to talk with you. Always very informative,
Yes.
and we hope that you have enjoyed listening today to Lowcountry Money Talk.